Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Conquer College Admissions. This is Julie Kim and I'm a graduate of USC and Harvard University and the founder of Passion Prep. In this video, we're going to cover what has changed in the college admissions landscape in 2025. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up if you like videos like this so that I can provide more resources and useful tips for your college admissions journey. The first update we have with the college admissions process in 2025 is definitely the test optional policy. Every college, they have a different take on this topic. So some colleges will require the test, some will say they don't want it at all, and some will say, hey, if you want to submit it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't need to. So there's three different categories that fall into the test policy topic. And what you need to do on your end is to check your dream college policy on this topic. And you also need to know that colleges are changing this up quite frequently right now. So maybe your college that you really loved was saying, hey, we don't need it. But starting 2025 or 2026, they are going to bring it back. So these policy changes are happening frequently. It's really interesting because even before COVID times, a lot of these policies, they did not change for a really long time. But right now there's a lot of action going on, and colleges, they're also doing what we call a beta period. And what they're doing is, hey, let's go ahead and pause accepting SAT and ACT scores and let's see how those students perform when we accept them. And UC School was one of the ones to do that as well. So they're still testing things out to really see, does the SAT and ACT make a difference in the student's success and performance? So they are trying to make data-driven decisions, but also a lot of colleges did bring it back. So I would say from my students, most of them are preparing for the SAT and ACT. Some we are deciding to not include at all because the student is just not the best test taker, which is totally okay because there's always different ways that we can work around that process. So that's going to be the first change in 2025, and it will continue to progress and change and modify in the next few years. The second change that's happened is what we call a holistic admissions process. So back in the days, a lot of the parents, they will share with me like, Julie, back in my days, I just needed to do a lot of different things like volunteer, summer program, take a lot of good classes, AP classes, essay. It was more of like a well-rounded application. Now what colleges are looking for is they're looking at everything. And that's what we call it, a holistic process. So of course, they're gonna look at your GPA, the rigor, SAT, ACT scores, your passion, your academic interest, your letters, essays, interviews. I mean, there's so many things that go into this process now. So you can't just have good GPA and SAT scores and think, okay, I'm good, because you're not. And on the other hand, if you think, oh, I don't think I can get into my dream college because my GPA is not that good, there are so many ways that you can compensate that as well. So it's gone a little bit more complicating because the holistic process means that you need to demonstrate all of yourself. And a lot of students will say, oh, I want to show colleges that I'm really hardworking. Well, that's not like sufficient enough to make it a standout application. Hard work, resilience, all of that is already implied through your activity. So just don't forget that. So holistic admissions process is really important. And the statement that I say a lot is colleges are not looking for a well-rounded student, they want a well-rounded class. Now let's move into the third change, which is about diversity and equity. Colleges do want a campus that is diverse. So they can't accept the president of leadership and the captain of volleyball for all of their students. They want someone who is athletic. They want someone who loves music. They want a good writer, introvert, extrovert, engineer, AI development. They really want a diverse group of people, not only academically, but also philosophically, their values, their perspective on life. So they really want the campus to have that diverse environment, and that is really important for a lot of the colleges. The fourth one is now colleges are starting to eliminate a lot of like manual and in-person things. So the fourth change is definitely more use of technology, and they are doing more virtual interviews. They are trying to do more digital portfolios. So for example, Brown University, you can submit a digital portfolio, like a video of your story. So colleges are trying to embed more of that digital aspect into the application process. And so that you also need to get a little bit creative, because let's say your portfolio is not that good, but you do really well in one of the portfolios, then, or in the digital portfolio, then it could definitely help you stand out. The fifth and the last change for 2025 is you need to demonstrate your passion. You also need to have a story component to your application. So you're not just spitting out all of the things that you did. You're actually telling a beautiful story that encompasses your values, your personality. One of my students is so funny. So I was like, hey, like, I need to make sure that your personality is being conveyed here. So we want your personality to shine through your story. And it's kind of like personal branding. You need to be known for something. You need to stand out. And that's the strategy that I do with a lot of my students, just because when you're trying to do it alone, it's kind of hard to figure out like what parts of myself do I really want to convey to colleges, and it can get a little bit stressful. So that's the last change. There's definitely more changes coming, and I feel like I can add a couple more to this list, but for the sake of this video, these 5 changes are going to kind of control the way that the college admissions process works, especially for Ivy League and top tier college admissions process. And if you want to get a little bit deeper with your college admissions journey, I highly recommend that you start off with my free training at passionprep.com/masterclass. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.